Let me start with a question. I'm a teacher now, what to do? Don't worry, I'll not take an exam. Simple question. And you don't have to be exact. How many years in the mission for all of you? Anybody more than 10 years? 15 years? 5 years? I recently joined, just 2 years. Anybody 30 years? Sorry. So I got the advantage of age, I've been in the mission for 37 years. And still have a long way to go. Why I'm asking this question is that there are a lot of reasons why people come to the mission. And a lot of reasons why people move out from the mission also. But remember one thing, what you learn from the mission, it's your choice to apply in life and also make a career out of it. So I can see, this is an age group where career and settling in life is important, isn't it? Even if you are not interested, your parents will make sure. Right? So you have to study well. And today if you don't get 95%, so I understand because I've gone through the stage, but let me tell you, today whatever success I've got, and let me tell you again, not boasting myself, I'm too successful for a generation like us. So I'm India's #1 business author. So you can, I don't know if you've seen some of my videos on YouTube and all. I teach in some of the most prestigious universities in India and abroad. In fact, Pranav sir is also here. Can you believe I never studied in IIT, but my student who is now professor at IIT. Think about it. और क्या चाहिए? हम तो कभी पढ़े नहीं और वहाँ पे पूरा इंस्टीट्यूट चला रहे. So thanks for coming down from IIT Kharagpur. And of course, as a businessman also I'm there, I'm doing a lot of work, but my first identity, which is not in the formal biodata, I'm from Chinmaya Mission. 37 years, gone through every stage. Balviyar, then Chick, Balviyar Sevak. Got married into the mission in Chinmaya Mission, Ashram in Powai. Wife from Yuva Kendra, wife's family from Yuva Kendra, my family, 3 generations, in Chinmaya Mission. Now, और कुछ आता ही नहीं, as we say in Hindi, Why? In fact, the other way around, और कुछ जानने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. But I'll tell you, there are a lot of conflicts that we go through. I'll try and address that and how, at this age group that we have, we can actually solve many thoughts about spirituality in practice. So let me actually share some of my experiences, and all of you gone through the invite poster. There's some 4 or 5 points that I'm supposed to cover. So what I'll do is that, I will just tell you the kind of a mental block I had about spirituality. So my father took me to Gurudev, I remember that. So we have seen Chinmaya Mission over so many generations, I would say. And now my children have come out of Balvir and joining Yuva Kendra. So I think Vikram's son is here, Ved ka hai? There you. So, I'll tell you, at this particular age group that we are, even if you're in Yuva Kendra, there'll be a lot of social pressure. Isn't it true? Kya karo, ye kya hai? We also had that problems. But I'll tell you, this is only a mental block. And I would even tell that, you actually can live a life of practical spirituality. Vivekananda used to say, practical Vedanta. Gurudev also has spoken a lot about practical Vedanta. Not even practical. Of course, we know about Bhagavad Gita, that it's not about the knowledge, it's also knowledge in application. We'll talk about it, but before that, let me tell you, this place is very sacred for me and also very nostalgic for me, specifically Chinmaya Mission Kolkata. I've come here almost 30 years ago. Of course, now it's much better, infrastructure, AC. I used to come here to meet chicks. I don't know if you heard about Prasad Bhaiya, anybody has met him. Then of course, Lakshmi Didi, Vidya was part of the chick group. Because many years ago, an All India Office Bearers Chick Conference was held here. I came representing the Yuva Kendra from Mumbai. There's a small center called as Mulund. And I used to walk around all these lakes, stay at Prasad's place just to be there. And lot of them, I would say not lot, most of them have left. But I did not leave Kolkata. I used to go and eat puchkas. To the street food, to going around the mission. And this is one place where, because in the youth days, the impression that you have stays forever, right? So, it's so nice to be in the same center. I came here for a professional work, but there is always a thin difference between professional and passionate work. I'm passionate about my work, it's also become my profession. And when Shaurya called me up and saying that, I came here 2-3 times for some conferences, IKS conference, then C20. So ये सब बड़े बड़े speaker हो ना. So and mission के लिए कभी ना नहीं बोलता. So I said, okay, fine. And I remember meeting Shaurya very informally at that time. And he said, थोड़ा बातें करना है. So I like to speak to young people, especially who are entrepreneurs. So चलो phone पे बात करते हैं. And then we had long discussion. I said, okay. I met Lalit ji, Rishabh. I said, okay, then let me come down. And of course, I was 2 days with them. And then Shaurya, Yuva bhi hai na? He said, mission mein karoge kya? The answer was initially no. But there is no word in my dictionary. I'll tell you why no. Also because of Chinmaya mission. Today is Guruji's birthday, remember? Swami's birthday. And we have a celebration in Powai Ashram. I may travel around the world, giving lectures and a lot of professional work, but as much as possible, I try to be home on Saturday evening for 2 reasons. My family will forget me otherwise. Second reason, I am still attending classes at Chinmaya Mission Powai Ashram, where Swami Advayanand is taking a course every Sunday from 10:30 to 11:30. If you have seen those posters, Vedanta Vijnana course. So दुनिया भर सिखाओ, but कुछ सीखो. So Sunday is the place when I become a student again to charge myself to become a teacher on Monday. But when Shaurya called me, where is he? Yeah, there he is. He said, 30th Guruji ka birthday. And I said, oh, 30th Guruji ka birthday, so I'm going to meet Guruji only. And that was in the plan. But then another thing that held me back. Yesterday World Cup ka final tha na. And my son is very, very passionate about it and very emotional about it. Because 19th November 2023, remember? We were almost there. And he's a young boy, he's from Balviar only. He cried, he did not sleep the whole night. I said, don't worry. I worked in the cricket industry, by the way. That's something that is not the main topic, but I'll tell you how spirituality helps in your career. But I understand, because for me, cricket is not a passion. I work professionally in the cricket industry, BCCI, MCA, we heard of Mumbai Cricket Association. So we in the sense not me, my company, where I am at a very senior management position, gave a 100 crore deal to Sachin Tendulkar. So Sachin Tendulkar hai. But my wife, Surekha, is also from the mission. She says, बच्चों को encourage करो, don't show the dark side of cricket. So there is a saying that there's always dust under the carpet. So beautiful, right? You lift it, you'll understand. So cricket, we went yesterday. I saw the match, we were all watching it together. And my son was watching in Bombay. I said, okay, so the original plan was that we should be with the family, isn't it true? And by the way, that's a dharma of a grahasthashrami. But there's a bigger dharma. If there is a concept called dharma sankat, kya kare ki na kare. For everybody I can tell no. I cannot come on a Saturday evening, especially final. Secondly, on Sunday with Guruji's birthday. But when somebody from the mission calls up, Devakarji say you have to be here, Lajji says, well, no, this one thing. And then I had to take a permission from Surekha. She said, take it. The reason why I'm telling you all these things is, I'm here only because this is one place that I belong to. And that belongingness feeling is not about age. People can connect to a mission like this, or people can disconnect to the mission after 30 years being there also. Right? So, let me ask you a question again. How many of you are second or third generation in Chinmaya mission? Maybe your parents were there, grandparents were there. Anybody like that? Yeah. Do you feel you are forced into the mission? Actually, it starts like that only. You don't know when you're small, when you're sent to Balviar. It's like, you cannot choose the school that you attended. You can choose the college that you want to attend. Isn't it true? Tell me, did you take the decision which school to go to? Your parents took it. Which kindergarten you went to? Did you have a discussion, brainstorming, career guidance? But now you're grown up, right? So you can choose. I don't want to go here. I don't want to even study in Kolkata. Right? So many times when you enter the mission as a Balviar child, you don't have a choice. And I did not have a choice because my father was taking classes, study classes in Bombay. But he never promoted it, He was very different kind of a. He used to organize Gurudev's Yajnas. And I remember this year, 1987, yeah. We old people, I'm getting older now. We get into the past so much. But as Gurudev used to tell, the chicks have a future. And people like us only have a past. The past is also inspiring. So 87, Gurudev had come to a place for a yajna. And my father had taken me. And after that, he encouraged me to even join the Balviyar. I don't know what's encouragement. But Sama Ayu. People of the same age group. And Sama Ayu means same age group also have Sama Prashna. Same problems, right? You cannot discuss with your parents too much. Generation gap. So I said, okay, Sama Ayu. And there was a good Balviyar teacher. Nice stories. And used to get prasad also. And natural progression, you'll get into chick, right? Again, Sama Ayu. Sama Prashna. You start discussing, what about your career? Let me tell you, till your age, and let me tell you, it will continue for another 2-3 years, till you find a reason for being in that profession. So the confusion will not get completed by taking admission. Till you get a real satisfaction, this is my Swadharma. I am supposed to do that. So let me start with saying that, okay, this is a very special place, Chinmaya Mission is mine, Chinmaya Mission is a family, but I'll tell you the negative side of it first. Negative? We are a minority, isn't it true? If you look at the crowd outside, isn't it? So people who come to spirituality feel, I'm not discarding. You go back to your schools and colleges, you will find not everybody is in the spiritual path, isn't it true? Of course, they'll be doing some basic rituals, festival celebrations, right? That's there. But that doesn't make you spiritual, isn't it true? Nobody studies books in detail like, spiritual organizations like Chinmaya Mission teaches, isn't it true? Bhagavad Gita pata hai. Yes, what is Bhagavad Gita understanding of yours? Ask a basic question, how many shlokas are there? How many shlokas are there in Bhagavad Gita? It's an easy answer for you. But go and out ask people, 7,000. What? And you get wondering. And here, okay, tell me one shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Which is the famous one? Yada, yada, yada. And then ask them, where did you know it? Serial. Mahabharata. So for them, spirituality is only what is popular. And Gurudev did something very different. As there's a saying, from the puja room, he brought it out to the boardroom. Like Bhagavad Gita is not meant for, part-time. It's a full-time, actionable activity. But let me start with a negative thing, because I was in the spiritual part, we are a minority, but a good minority. We are trying to intellectually understand Indian culture, and if possible, even look at, is there a career growth in this path? Of course, the great people who give their full life to it. Devakarji is there, many Swamijis that you meet, religious family is there. But for a person who says, okay, I'm still not sure, will this benefit me? And you'll be surprised, I was discouraged by my Sama Ayu friends. My age group, I remember I was around 17 years old. 17 years technically would mean I was in 12th standard. And I was very proud of being in Chinmaya Mission. But my friends never understood. Why is he going and studying all these Upanishads? We had great acharyas. We were trained to actually give lectures. That's one quality you'll get in Chinmaya Mission. I used to take, in fact, not I would say, we were trained to take lectures for public on Upanishads at 17 years. And my friends started saying, hey, kya Baba banne wala hai kya? And they had a pet name for me, Swami. Today Swami is a great thing, right? And the leadership space, Swami means a leader. But because I'm from mission, I used to get just confused. And actually it's not a great thing, according to them, ye kya Swami aaya? That means a lost person who doesn't want to do anything is here and is studying the Bhagavad Gita. And let me tell you, I had a second complex. You know what is my name? So Radha. So a lot of friends used to call me Radha. So already female name. Secondly, Swami. So I used to misfit, I would say. Outcast almost from that community, So when I used to go to my Sama Ayu friends in college, they say, kya kar raha hai life mein, kuch bana? Career bana? Right? Normally, don't worry, I know your problems. And if you not got 95, बोला था, अभी board exam आ रहा है, concentrate on your study. So a lot of parents who don't understand the value of spirituality in building an education and a professional career think that all this is another class. A hobby class you go, some hobby class, maybe singing, dancing, some sports activity. You'll be involved, don't worry. But coming to Chinmaya mission is not that important. A lot of people have this perception. One other add-on, okay. And a lot of people have seen who say, now I have to choose between a Yuva Kendra class and a cricket coaching club. Because the timing is the same, no? Sunday, only one day. And say, what do I do? Maximum people will choose that. Isn't it true? Nothing wrong in that. So play cricket. If you are a singer, go for a part class. We have a Swaranjali today, right? Inauguration. So remember one thing, you choose between two options, and that's a lifelong problem, let me tell you. Choose between this and that. Different stages of life, different choosing. Which course to take, isn't it? And if you have decided the course, which college to take, and now which city to take. I remember when I was in Czech, it was an aspiration to be in Xavier's College. Isn't it true? Still popular?
Yes.
But you'll be surprised. Today, a lot of people say, no, Xavier's ke baad kya? And I see a lot of my friends calling me up and saying, okay, there's a college in Mumbai, can you make my son take an admission there? So choices will be there, nothing wrong. If you get the best education, you should travel the world also. Why am I telling this particular question? That, I was not very happy when I met people from outside who was not part of Chinmaya mission. Kya padta hai pata nahi. And somewhere, thanks to my parents, they encouraged me. And they said, you can do everything else. But make sure you don't miss out on Chinmaya mission classes. Of course, in some exceptional cases, you may miss a class, right? So I'll tell you, I'll tell you my parents, brilliant, both of them not physically there. They said, do everything in life, but the foundation has to be spirituality. So I'll tell you, I have interesting skill sets. So I used to go to what is called NCC. And there's a different version of it called SCC, Sikh Cadet Co. I'm not sure whether Kolkata mein hai kya. Sundays. I used to be a swimmer, national level swimmer. ऐसा नहीं है. I used to play the flute. ये करते करते I never chose between Chinmaya mission and that. Chinmaya mission and all that. And by the grace of God, अभी भी वो सब करता हूँ. So Chinmaya mission was the foundation for everything else. It is not Chinmaya mission versus. Time वही है. And but again the feeling यार इससे career बनता है क्या? So lot of people, especially so-called misguided parents, I'm not telling all parents and especially not your parents, they think high education means high career. True? And what does high education mean? Marks. We have gone into a rat race, and as the joke goes, even if we win the rat race, you're still a rat. And this is a joke about marks. Anybody was just given some board exams? 10th, 12th standard, Results are again? I'm sure you have done well. So this is joke about, there's a board exam and there are two students. So there's a girl and a boy. The girl was crying and the boy was dancing. Half of you got the joke. So they asked the girl, why are you crying? I only got 96%. And the boy says, pass ho gaya. 35. So tell me one thing, does result guarantee happiness? Does result guarantee career? Assumption hai. I'm not telling that you should not get good marks. But then you're into a cycle. Good marks means good college admission. Good admission means you'll successfully come out for a good career. If that is one path you have chosen, great. But whether by choice or don't know, or Guru Kripa, I chose a different path. I was a good student, but never a topper. I was a good student. Kabhi fail nahi hua. But Chinmaya mission first. In fact, the joke goes between me and Surekha, my wife also. Abhi, because my daughter is going to be in board exams next year. So we should take a break. Hota hai na? From all the activity, only focus on 10th standard. Or 12th standard, whatever you. Now this is the most important year. It's like, last ball pe chakka marna. Otherwise you lose the World Cup. But my wife is absolutely clear. Everything else, including board exams, is important, but first important is Chinmaya mission class. And that, nay, there is no choice. And I'll tell you how it helps. Because you think spirituality is not an add-on, it's a foundation. When I was with the Pathak family, so many of you may know they're in the bakery business. So there is something called as a base and there is something called topping. Cake hai, there's a base, right? And then there is a topping. Then you can have vanilla topping, a lot of chocolate toppings. Tell me one thing. Do you want to know the cake for the topping or do you want to know the quality of the cake by the foundation, the essence of it? Both are important. So Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, a doctorate also gives you that topping, isn't it true? But if I am not a great human being, all the doctorates will only be Nataka. Ask Pranav sir. He is surrounded by doctors. In IIT, which is a very prestigious institute. But I'll tell you, even in so-called respected sections of society, academics, healthcare, so the topping is there, a doctorate is there, is most famous and all, but the character is not good. Danger, isn't it true? But the human ego is very dangerous to handle. So what I am saying is that you should follow your career, no doubt about whatever you choose, but the foundation is always there in spirituality. I'll give you 2 instances from my life, how it has helped me in career. Ready? बहुत ज्ञान हो गया, practically बताओ, because I have to go and report to my mom today. This is one sample of how spirituality can be actually making you worldly successful. Ready? Instance number 1. Initial stages, I come from a non-business family, typical South Indian, has been told, padhai likhai karna, and then you'll get a job. And especially if you're having a government job, collector ban gaya mera beta, right? A typical mindset. And as many people say, the Britishers left us, but we did not leave the Britishers. Kolkata hai na? They gone, and how much time will we blame them? That generation has died, isn't it true? 75 years has happened, but we carry that, that legacy in our head. So is government jobs a solution? Become a collector? I don't know. I'm not saying don't become a government officer, but is that success? Because during that particular British Raj it was. Isn't it true? In fact, one of the biggest legacies left behind, and as Pranav sir always says, it's cricket. It's not an Indian game. Isn't it true? And we're celebrating. And we should celebrate. We Indianized it also. But the idea is that when will we actually, think about something different from the herd mentality? That's where Chinmaya Mission comes in. So I'll tell you, I never understood, because still that 50% of your life is dependent on peer pressure. Everybody has got good jobs. And I remember how Chinmaya Mission helped me in my first job that I got. First job. My first job is very interesting, by the way. Right? Because you have no experience, you may have some degree certificate. Everybody is a graduate in India. I mean, that's base minimum, koi badi baat nahi hai. And, that time you have to apply for a job. Today you have, a lot of, I think, LinkedIn profiles. You have made it or no? Sabne bana liya? Actually, LinkedIn is for many reasons, but the primary reason is to get a job. We used to have a website called Naukri.com. Now it's not doing that well because LinkedIn came in. In our generation, there was no website also. That came later on, technology. You had to physically go and maybe make biodatas, CVs, resume, and physically used to go. I remember that time, I don't know whether the pattern exists in recruitment. It's called placement agencies. So, mummy ne bola, abhi beta graduate ho gaya. I'm going to start working. So I understood the mindset later on. I invested in enough, now start earning for us. 15, 20 years, I made you a graduate now. Simple mathematical formula, now be on your own, right? And the sign for being on your own is that can you stand on your own legs financially? And the only road that you can take initially was getting a job, right? So I went around a lot of placement agencies. And I remember in Bombay, if you know the geography and all, there's a place called as Chembur. Small suburb, but a very important part of Bombay economy. There was one placement agent in Chembur, like, they're very well connected and all. So I gave my resume. I said, okay, if there is any formal jobs, I'll let you know. I don't know if you're aware of it, the government of India or any government in the world actually has got a placement cell for youth. Yeah, you don't only have to go for jobs private. In fact, if you apply, there's a employment department. You have to put a resume and maybe after 2 years, they'll call you for a possible job. By that time, you're already working. So that's why the private placement agents became very popular because the speed is faster. What is the point when you want a job at 22 or 25 and you're called for an interview at 28? Called, not guaranteed. Huh? So our generation is to physically go and apply to so-called private placement agencies. I'm graduate already. Huh? So the education pressure is over. But now, next pressure. Is there a value addition to graduation? Can you convert that into a job? So, 2 weeks, no call. I called up the placement guy. I floated your resumes to all my potential companies. The placement agents will connect you to companies which has got requirement, isn't it? And so 2-3 weeks happened. I was following up, कुछ है क्या? Because mommy is asking me ना, घर पे बैठा है, नालायक, graduate होके अभी कब तक घर पे बैठेगा? I learned one formula after that. Even if you don't have a job, don't sit at home. And I'll tell you something, it's not a joke. The perception that you're not active, that means you're useless. क्या कर रहे हो? Have you seen in India? Anybody you meet, especially the senior generation, what are you doing? Arey? I mean, can't I be sitting quietly at home reading books? I'm thinking about my career. Why are you thinking about it? Start your career. A quiet person is a useless person. And there is in career you will come across this phase called in between careers. Have you heard about it? So you are in between two careers. यहाँ से निकाल दिया. What? And reality, a lot of people who come for jobs we know. Not because they want a job, they don't have a job, they've been kicked out from the previous jobs. And the second they've not yet got a job. It's a golden period. But the society will not allow you. Be active, kuch dikhao. Being busy is activity and that's productivity. No. Have you heard about this word called sabbatical? As you build your career, you'll understand. What do you know what is sabbatical? It's a very spiritual term in the Jewish culture. It's a word called Sabbath. You know what is Sabbath? Like you come for weekly classes. Like in the Jewish culture, they go for like a weekly prayer. Like on Sundays, church activities happen. Some people go to temples or mosque, whatever your tradition is, right? Synagogue. So their form of prayer called Sabbath. So you know what is sabbatical? People who are in career but are not very happy with their career. They take a spiritual break. And it's allowed in the European culture. India में you have to be doing something. क्या कर रहे हो? कुछ नहीं तो शादी करा दो अरे? True, isn't it true? Be ready for all this, huh? Because if you're sitting quiet, you have to do something. Something means something that can show activity. Get out of the house, वो job ढूंढ रहा है. So this placement agent called me up and said, okay, there's an opportunity we'd like to consider. Okay, कुछ भी चलेगा, घर से बैठने से अच्छा चलो. Very interesting because this placement agent was very well connected. He's saying that it's a very different industry. You don't have any qualifications in that. So basic graduation. I did my MBA later on. So this particular person told me it's a jewelry industry. No, I'm not a female. So I don't understand what jewelry means to the females because that's the main customers, right? And high quality export processing zone. So there's a company called Unidesign Jewelry. Okay? And said, it's a marketing post. Okay? कुछ भी चलेगा. You have to get your first job. Yeah. Well, okay. Then I go to that factory. And ध्यान से सुनिएगा. No experience, no understanding technically, but ठीक है, marketing job. There are 50 people. Our generation was, horrible in employment. Today also, government, one post, lakhs of applications. Our education system has become an examination system. An examination pass means you have to get placed. You don't get placed with the payment that you expect, suicide. Youth. Now, I go to the interview, 50 people, no experience, and everybody looks smarter than me. They had some experience. And you come back for a bit, and by the way, for all your information, nobody will tell you that you have not got the job. You keep following up, right? And if you're dealing with the HR department, we will let you know that means you have not got the job. So this word called I will let you know, don't have any hopes. They don't know how to tell no. Anyway in India we don't know how to tell no. So the corporate culture is like that. Okay. 2-3 times I followed up and they say we'll let you know. Okay. I said, छोड़ो यार और कुछ try करते हैं. Suddenly I get a call. Okay. Well, that same company wants one more round of interview with you, second round. Out of 50 people, they must have filtered out. So now maybe I'm among the top 3. So you deal with the HR, now you deal with the CEO level, the chairman level and all that. I go over there and I had a very nice boss. Remember one thing, if you have a choice in life, okay, if you have a choice in life, your first boss makes or breaks your career. It is not the company alone, not the quality of the leader that you work under. You have no experience, right? If you have a choice. Many people don't have choice also. So I went and I've been fortunate that that boss called me and said, let me tell you openly why I called you. I applied for a job, maybe that person told me, placement guy, I've been called for a second round of interview. So like, let me be honest. Subramanian sir, the job for which you applied, we already have given the job to a better candidate. So basically not going to get that job, it's already given. But your CV is very interesting. I want to have a discussion, not interview. Discussion. The first time I heard the word discussion was Chinmaya Yuva Kendra class, group discussion. So ये कोई शास्त्रार्थ करने वाला है. He was a highly educated person. So I want to discuss something with you. Job is gone. So why have you called me? And said, okay, let me be very frank with you. How many people applied? You was also there. And then, please listen to this carefully. Chinmaya mission and practical application. That's my point. And then, we had a lot of people who were good education-wise. And some CVs also had experience. And we selected one girl. I said, okay, male, female, in career started. She was jewelry industry, they have better insight. And she was already a marketing person. And given to her, and she already experienced better than you, all those things. Abhi mere ko kyun bola hai? To tell me that I lost the job. And he told me something interesting. I want to discuss with you because after that placement is done, I want to discard this CVs. But I have this habit that I go through the CV once again because the factory was growing. And suddenly I got your CV, I personally looked at it and said, okay, this guy is worth a discussion. He's not worth the job, huh? He's worth a... I called you for that. Okay, tell me, what is the discussion? Arre Baba, mere ko salary chahiye. And gone. Saying that, the job that you applied is gone, but I can create a job for you if you are ready. Create a job. Okay? So I find you having some quality which is different from those people who have also given the CVs, but you have, that's why I call you for discussion. Okay. Then my first, paisa dega kya? I go back and report to my parents, na, I got the job or no. So mentally already not got. Maybe I can go to another placement agent. I sit over there and he says, this factory has got 200 employees right now. There's a marketing department, there's a sales department, and jewelry is very high and a volume plus. It's a very precious metal, isn't it true? You're dealing with real gold diamonds, so kidhar dikhta nahi hai. When you have Tanishq ads, you can get those. So I'm dealing with that. They're saying that all this gone, but my target as a CEO of the company is that I want to make sure that time the turnover of the company was 100 crores. In the next 5 years, I have to make it 1,000 crores. So I understand numbers. I may not be good in maths, but I can be good in numbers. Look at all the business community. Maths is, the way it is taught right now, is more about equations, formulas. Isn't it true? People have started hating maths, isn't it? And a lot of people have a psychological problem with maths. And we have Vedic mathematics here. In fact, Gaurav, I'm not sure whether he's here. That's it. Pardon? He's not there. Not there. So, a Kolkata boy, I think we should call him some other time to encourage all of you. He is one of the world's best teachers on Vedic maths. You can Google him. And Narendra Modi interviewed him on Man Ki Baat. He's a Kolkata guy. I met him yesterday. Moving back. So I was good in numbers, I may not be great in maths. I never failed in maths. Thoda sa ratta maar ke, as we say in Bombay language, You just mug up things and you vomit it in the exam paper. And Gurudev used to laugh a lot and say, examination, before the exam I'm wise, I know all the answers. After the exams I'm wise, I know all the answers. During exam, otherwise. So basically examination system means memory skills. True or no? And I see even today, the moment exams are over, textbooks, notebooks are discarded. True? I have kept all my textbooks from 5th standard onwards. My wife says, Pagal hai aadmi. So no, I compare that textbook with the textbook of my children. How much we have evolved. I got 10,000 books in my house. So I don't live in a house, I live in a library. Author. Anyway, that's a different story. The point is that when I went over there and this boss said, my target, because numbers, from 100 crores with 200 employees, I have to expand it to so many thousands of crores over a period of 5 years. That's my plan to the board. If you understand all these things, Because the boss also has got another boss, let me tell you. You have a boss, the boss also has a boss. Okay. Now I need to build new infrastructure, I have to hire more people and build this up. That I have presented a plan to the board and that's why I'm a CEO of this company, right? But I require different people with different skill sets. So marketing is a very normal job. It's already gone. So I want you to basically discuss with me, and if you're interested, I'll create a job for you. I'll not give a job for you, I will create a job for you. Okay. So he used to work before this company and I realized later on he also hired only 2 months ago. Usko bhi prove karna, he has to create his own team. And his boss says, okay, whatever you want you can create, but you have to deliver in 5 years, 1,000 crores. Saying that I used to manage a plant at Procter and Gamble. Have you heard about P&G? Okay. And in the manufacturing industry of what is called FMCG, toothpaste, soap, all that, like Unilever, multiple products, all these production companies. I had no idea of production. Okay. He says in multinational companies, production happens through a central thinking department. Thinking department called as PPC. Anybody understands this technical term? Production Planning and Control. So then I come to the jewelry industry from that FMCG industry, but I am a manufacturing guy, highly qualified, very intelligent. But I don't find that PPC as a concept exists in the jewelry industry. Okay, so I want to create the department. If you are interested, I can make you part of my team and you have to be the head of that department. Direct job. Salary kitna milega? No discussion on that. And okay, something is better than nothing, right? Sales job gone and you are creating. Of course. And I said yes, and they gave me some basic, maybe some 5,000 rupees. First job, you don't discuss salaries. You look at the opportunity, right? Maybe after 1 year I can leave this company. Now I'll tell you what happened. I joined the job, we created all those things. But this question always remained. In my mind, no qualification, right? No experience. And the biggest risk is this guy who is from non-industry, I don't know him, whatever. He's saying there is something about you that is different, that he is able to take a risk on a new guy, a young boy just out of college. And one of our later meetings, I already started working and then my parents were happy. Chalo, nalaik laik to ban sakta hai. Activity na, I go to office every day. And if you're working in a factory during those days, factory used to start at 8 o'clock. So mother was very happy. I have to get up at 5:30 and push this guy out. And the bahana was, aapko lunch bana ke dena hai. The happiness is not making lunch. The happiness is that I can tell my friend that he is working somewhere. What he is doing, I don't understand. What he is doing, she also doesn't understand. But he is going out of the house. And my mother, Bhavana, says, khana bana ke diya. So one day I asked my boss, sir, tell me one thing. I did not get the job, but you called me again. What was that one thing that you actually took me on? And he told me something very interesting. When I was going through a biodata, I don't know what is the modern format of preparing biodata resumes. Aajkal bahut soft copy mein aaya na. Today I hire people and some of them send me video biodatas. Have you heard about this concept? हमारे टाइम में नहीं था all this technology. So people make videos of their biodata. 1 minute videos on your whole lifespan. What you have done till now. Basically, it's only education. But, in our generation, apart from all the qualification, all those things, there's one column called as extracurricular activities. So somebody will show sports, somebody will show some leadership. I was some head of some club in some college, you have some literature club and all those things. Of course, I had written swimming because I was there, sports, this and all. But I had also written Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. Had written Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. I said, I want to discuss with you. And I saw that you are from Chinmaya Mission, that's why I took that risk on you. Risk on me? Yeah, first job, no. And my dream idea. And he has no idea. I know you're not qualified for the job, but you are the right person for the job if you are from Chinmaya Mission. Huh? Strange. What is Chinmaya Mission connected with my career? Told me something very interesting. This industry is highly sensitive industry. We don't hire people from outside. And if you hire, it's like outside, marketing, barja. It's a factory, remember, and you are dealing with high precious items. They don't take people. Today at least you have security cameras. So the major thing that we check in people is not the qualification, it is not their skill sets or competencies, is it the person who can be trustworthy? Can you be trusted in this industry? So there is something called as high entry barriers. So the elitist clubs, you can't go into any particular elite club, they will not allow you. You have to be a member. And membership also you require recommendation. But you from Chinmaya Mission, I can trust you. That's how my career started. I came back and said, really? And say, I can have quality discussions with you because you have studied the Shastras. How we say? We are studying Bhagavad Gita and we have all the Sevaks and Swamijis who come. Okay. Career. Breakthrough. Saying, I can have quality discussions with you because I'm a part of the thinking team of the leader, isn't it? The CEO is not a doer. He is not a worker. And you're not supposed to be a worker. To hire workers and define jobs, I have many people. But you are part of a thinking team. And because of Chinmaya Mission, number one, I can trust you in this industry, jewelry industry. Chori nahi karega. By the way, every parents in life will make sure that a bachcha chori nahi kare. Honesty is a basic principle. But that is a minimum thing, right? Anybody who is not honest will not have a job. But with the Chinmaya Mission, I found my first job. Okay? That's how career started. And of course, I worked in a lot of industries. And today I guide industries. The books became famous and all. But I'll tell you second instant and a very important instant to tell how basically I got my second breakthrough as an academician. Academician. By the way, I'm also, many people don't know this. I had institutions. Yeah, at Bombay University where Pranav sir has been also a student and also teaches there. And now of course he's in IIT. I created an institution called as Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies. And a very high post. And directly entered there. And thanks to the Vice Chancellor, we got some great projects to work on all those things. So I remember, of course, my Chanakya journey had already started. I studied at CIF, Chinmaya International Foundation. I did my MA in Sanskrit, all those things. But that is not enough to become a director of an education institution. I remember having a discussion with the head of philosophy department then, Dr. Shubhada Joshi. He said, you're doing good work, you are from Chinmaya Mission. Okay, why did you do a PhD in Arthashastra? Huh? Arthashastra and the scripture I had studied at Chinmaya Mission only. Of course, we have studied the Bhagavad Gita, self-unfoldment, kindle life. But my interest went to much deeper. Upanishads are all basic, but I said, no, I want to study. I went to CIF, I studied all those things. And this madam says, why don't you do a PhD? Let's do some projects. We did a lot of projects, CIPL, a lot of education for the youngsters to make a career in politics. Yeah? So not impractical. Again, of course, I completed my PhD, I got a gold medal. An average student, Guru Kripa hogi to gold medal bhi mil sakte hain. And direct the Vice Chancellor, we did a lot of programs for the government, Chandigarh, International Yoga Day. So, like, I was in charge, I remember, power, you could arrest people. Yeah. So, all this, anyway. So, I asked ma'am again, madam, you trusted me, yeah, a person who is from a different world. I'm not even an academician formally. And you recommend me to become a Vice Chancellor's position of getting a directorship. You know what she told me? When I met you first time, you told that you are from Chinmaya Mission. That's why I trusted you. You can be trustworthy. Once you're a part of a spiritual organization, if you have that values, believe me, the first important thing in your career is not just your qualifications, which is also important, the skill sets, but are you trustworthy? Can you intellectually discuss certain things? And let me tell you, it's not easy to study scriptures. Huh? That's why many people don't come to many classes after a point. से बातें करते हैं अरे बातें नहीं करते सोच के बातें करते हैं. How many of you realize that without knowing you are developing intellectual skills? We have debates, discussions, we are not realizing. It's like, there's a very famous story. There used to be a guru, spiritual guru. He had a disciple. So the guru wanted to test the patience of the new disciple. And gurus are very smart. Huh? So they have an eye. Good, but there is something called easy adhikari for my knowledge. Right? Adhikari is not right. Let's see, have the quality to give my knowledge. He has the highest knowledge, Brahma Vidya. But किसी को नहीं देते हैं. Like I always say in my field also, I got Raja Vidya. And myself and Prabhu always say, Raja Vidya is not Praja Vidya. So we are part of leadership trainers and all those things. And we have the best students who are already leaders. Commanders of Army, Navy, Air Force. We teach some of those guys. But if we teach Raja Vidya to a person who is not have the qualities of Raja, waste of time. So the spiritual guru was testing. How did he test? He's a new person, but he wanted to learn. Inside there is a beautiful quote of Gurudev. Spirituality cannot be taught, it has to be caught, taken. So, easy worthy. I will give him the knowledge free. But hai kya usme quality? Kshamata. So this guru told, very simple, that come to my ashram tomorrow morning. Okay, he comes regularly, sincerely before time. Take this matka. Okay? And take a full, matka of water and go to the other end and come back. Go to the other end and come back. So he takes the matka with water on his shoulder, goes to the other end, and then he realizes something, that matka has a hole. By the time he reaches there, matka khali. He comes back. Guru ne bola hai na, testing chal raha hai. Then he says, okay, come back. But matka mein hole hai. I don't want to discuss. You went, you came back. Okay. Come tomorrow morning. He goes again. Same matka. इसमें पानी भरो, वहाँ पे जाके वापस आओ. Hey, Guruji, there's a hole in that. No discussion. Go. He went and came back. Matka khali, return में. What is this assignment? A lot of people have doubts. Camps organize कर रहे, यज्ञ organize कर रहे. Come here, come there. And then there will be subcommittees, reception committee, finance committee. We used to have a great acharya at Mulund Center, Swami Sachidanand Ji. He also had an interesting committee called Winding Up Committee. Do you have it here? Very interesting. That's a training that we got at Yuva Kendra. You know what is Winding Up Committee? Your work starts after yajna ends. बहुत सारे bills clear करने हैं, साफ सफाई करना है. We had a committee for that. Otherwise हो गया, अभी चलो मम्मी बुला रही है, भागो. Who is going to clean up the mess? Who is going to clear the accounts? So the idea is that this guru is to do this. So patrata dekh rahe. Second day, third day, fourth day, same exercise. Okay, 1 month. I say, yaar, sikhao mere ko, give me admission. मैं पात्रता देख रहा हूँ, wait. And finally he got frustrated, saying that, Guruji, okay, I'm ready not to learn under you also. But tell me one thing, what is this exercise you gave me? Pot, go to the other end, come back. And first you only realize there is a hole in that. Okay? So next day also tell me same ghat ko leke jao and then jalam. Pani bhar ke वापस आओ. 1 month हो गया है and you are telling me what are you making me do? And saying that you are admitted, come, let's have a discussion. Admission हो गया. पहले दिन में भी दे सकते थे. No, 2 things I was actually wanting to know about you. Number 1, do you have the patience? Spirituality, I am sure you must have discussed in your classes. Kathopanishad, there is a concept called Shreyas and Prayas. Yeah, so this concept is about long-term benefit and short-term benefit, right? So if you get money, success immediately, it's a problem. You'll not value it. But in the long term, it's like, waited for how many, I don't know, 17 years before getting another World Cup. Like the satisfaction of a long term success is very good. So this particular person says, I want to test whether you are ready for this knowledge, which requires a lot of tapasya. It's a long term knowledge. Second thing, I want to test, did you actually see the benefit of carrying this pot? Benefit? What benefit? Now I'll tell you, this is my final test and tomorrow you can join the class. Go out and come back and tell me what did you achieve. घट लेके जाओ, उधर लेके जाओ, पानी खत्म हो गया, you come back. You go 3-4 times and you go for 1 month. What benefit? I have frustrated. But you did not see that? Go again, same path. You can't change the path for 1 month. Did you see what you have produced? On the same path, now there are flowers on the way. You are actually watering the flowers. And today actually you have created a small garden on the path. So you will not understand it till a guru tells you. The exercise was to, I'm not telling you blindly believe your guru. But you should have shraddha in your guru. Gurudev talked about logic of spirituality, right? So you may not understand, but you are developing those logical skills that will also help you in a career and life. So why am I telling you the second story? I was selected based on this Chinmaya mission quality that we developed when we attend a chick class. Of course, you can convert that into a career also. I have converted that. कुछ नहीं आता है, I always tell you, चाणक्य छोड़ के कुछ नहीं आता है. But my foundations is Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. Without Vedanta, you can't even understand Chanakya. A lot of people get attracted by Chanakya, right? A lot of people misquote him also. But you have the Shastra base and you studied with the Guru Sishya Parampara with a logical discussion, you are convinced. It is not just a ritual of reading Bhagavad Gita, but it's actually a quality that you gain. So, there are a lot of concepts in Bhagavad Gita, I'm sure. With mission, you don't have to even talk about it. A concept called Loka Sangraha. Have you heard about it? Comes in Asita Prajna Lakshan. All these concepts that are in Bhagavad Gita, I'm sure. But when you deep dive into that knowledge, you start getting insights. I remember in one of our chick classes, I did not agree to one point of my sevak. We had a nice sevak and very great, but he used to logically explain to us. And we are youngsters, right? Lot of questions. And in chick classes, encourage. Chalo, pucho. So the typical understanding of spirituality is, dhyan se suniye, the ultimate aim of spirituality is moksha, isn't it true? In the Buddhism theory, it's nirvana, a lot of words we have. Jivan mukta, isn't it true? So I used to have this question, is the aim of human life moksha? Yes or no? Yes or no? My sevak said no. But I don't agree on your point because everything is only moksha, right? The human life is achieved. He said, no, have you studied Bhagavad Gita in depth? Well, I'm studying, but maybe you are a better sevak, you have more understanding. After moksha also, you have to work. So moksha can be an excuse for not working. The realized masters actually work, isn't it true? And that concept is called Loka Sangra. What do you do after moksha? Don't go and commit suicide. Loka Sangra. The greatest producers of the society were actually Jivan Muktas. True or no? That time I realized one thing, even if everything is done, financially, career-wise, if you don't contribute to the society, you're not a spiritual person. And only spiritual person can be really active. So you have to work for the society. I'll not go into that. What I'll do is that, in our poster there are 2-3 points. I'll try and explain that and then probably I'll be done. This is a very interesting poster you created. Thank you so much. So, harnessing youth potential. You saw? Potential is there. But harnessing has not happened. That's why an organization, especially a spiritual organization, and especially the youth wing, you have the potential. You have to be harnessed. In different fields, you call them mentors, coaches, guides. Here we have spiritual gurus also. But there are 2-3 points that's covered. Like basically, are youth useless or caredless? A very famous Gurudev's quote. Youth are not useless, they are useless. And Yuva Kendra gives an opportunity being used for the right reason. Isn't it true? So when you get a small job, I feel the biggest thing is that you are useful for the society, you get that confidence. I'll tell you, when you go to a mission center, it could be a small thing, like moving the chair. But let me tell you, that can also become a profession in event management. I know of a chickster from, I think, Chennai. Okay, he runs a big event management company with more than 4,000 employees. Now he's an employer. Okay, he's running an event management company. I was like, where did you learn event management? Well, I'm qualified and all, but actually, my event management started by organizing Yuva Kendra and Swamiji's lectures. Because when you move the chair and keep it aligned, making sure that the videography is on, isn't it event management? शादी में वही करते हैं ना. Some photographer will come, pre-wedding shoot, post-wedding shoot, and everything is clear. In Chinmaya Mission, you can learn many things, but you don't understand it then. Like I never understood that group discussions can actually make me do my PhD better. So all of you may seem useless to yourself and maybe your friends around, some are you. But your usefulness comes in when you get part of such great organization. And I am an example of that. Next point. Can inner knowledge help me achieve success in the outer world? Example? I'm very successful. But I also have one very important thing I tell you. Success outside is not necessarily success. State of mind is more important for success and how to behave after success. I remember again going back to Yuva Kendra days, and I think that was a class we had taken like this. It was Nanda Kishore Bhaiya, our generation. He was also in Kolkata. He was from Kolkata. Yeah, he used to take a chick class then, and he was from Bombay. Then he got posted in Delhi. He was from Yuva Kendra. He became a Yuva Kendra Sevak. Wherever he went, he was the CEO of Philips India. Yes. So he used to get posted. Southeast Asia. Don't think that we don't have successful people as career people in Chinmaya Mission. I can give you 10,000 examples. But when you're youth, you feel like क्या कर रहे हैं? Group discussion every Sunday. वहाँ पे घर पे गाली. I know people are employed so many people. So coming back to this, thousands of people they're employing. I don't know if you heard about Vivek Krishnani, managing director of Sony Pictures. Third generation from Chinmaya Mission. Yuva Kendra, Balviyar. How many? Venkat. He runs a company with 150 chartered accountants. He's got offices across the globe. Success, Chinmaya Mission Foundation. He was our chief secretary at Mulund. Wow. See, have you heard about MOD? Mad Over Donuts? We have this. How many of you are aware of it? It's actually started by a chick. Yeah, Mad Over Donuts in Calcutta also. But who is the founder? He's a chick. So see this. So one is getting a job that you can get. How about creating jobs? I have so many companies now. I have a company called Atma Darshan. So successful in job also, successful in business also. And now I get businessman. What not to do? Okay. So inner knowledge you will get, don't worry. But you can also apply it externally. So of course you will require some guidance and all to make sure, but it's possible. How do I deal with sea of emotions and failures? Remember one thing today, mental health is a major problem. Major problem. I mean, we never knew what is mental health problem. But Swami Vivekananda, if he studies literature, he said, imagine almost 125 years ago. You know what he said? When a developing country happens, okay, mental health problem increases. Huh? Mental health is not a new concept. Rishis understand it. We have yoga for mental health also, huh? Not for only physical asanas. Swami Vivekananda, when I read for the first time, I had no concept. But today you see so much mental health problems. Swami Vivekananda said this 125 years ago that a developing country's biggest problem will be mental health. You are in that generation. Economically, don't worry. I always say, your generation and our generation, economic difference. I was born in a poor India. All of you will die in a rich India. But the problem is that you cannot handle mental problems. True or no? So a lot of words to it. Attention deficit. I was telling that day pronouncer also. Imagine somebody has got admission into IIT. Admission, huh? Successful? Suicide rates are increasing in IIT. Because spiritual base nahi hai na. Success and career without mental stability. So you can have different practices. It can be as basic as doing as Gurudev has given so many examples. 5 Bhagavad Gita verses a day. Remember that? Very famous example. Or it could be, I always tell young boys and girls who come to me, They are not from Chinmaya mission. Can you sit quietly for 5 minutes? यहाँ पे बिना बोले 1.5 घंटा बैठ सकते हो. Yajna discipline. But how many of you realize that sitting quietly for 1.5 hours is actually helping you solve mental health issues? Huh? It is not pills that will solve your depression problems. Can you sit quietly with the mind? Can you be intellectually understanding the problem? You not understand it now. But yes, even your mental, emotional issues. And the good part is that, let me tell you, if you have emotional issues, you know what is the first solution? Discussion. यहाँ पे discussion ही होता है ना. What do psychologists do? They listen to us. Isn't it true? There's a joke about consultancy. They look at your watch, tell you the time, and charge money for it. So if you're able to sit quietly, and if you're not understanding why this is, you can talk to so many senior people, have a discussion in detail. Mental issue solution is not just going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. There's a clinical psychology. Many people want to go to that as a career. I'll tell you something. I was in Cochin, CVV, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. We had the IKS conference there, and I was called there again, Chanakya and all those things. I'm famous for that also. I'm a qualified Indologist. Nice terms in the academic world. But he's also Indologist. So why am I telling all these things? So we had this conference, and I don't know if you are part of such, events. They are called student paper presentations. So students can bring out idea. So there was a girl from one of the universities from Andhra. I don't remember her name. So we were judges, right? So we had to go. There were some 20 presentations, young boys and girls. Okay, telling that how Indian knowledge systems can actually solve current day problems. And I went to that stall, very interesting. And her research hypothesis was that the biggest problem, competitor for a person who is going to be a psychologist by career or profession is, can you imagine? A sadhu, Pandit. And she had data to prove it. Suppose I have a psychological problem, where do I go to? Now, modern trend, right? You go to Google. Google search is not research. One of my professor friend who is an expert in AI. AI? Artificial intelligence. He says, what is AI? Rubbish in, rubbish out. So people who don't know how to solve their own problems will tell others how to solve their problems. And this was data driven. I was so happy that saying that whenever there's a psychological problem, traditionally we go to a Guru Maharaj, isn't it true? Or a Dadima at home. A discussion can solve a problem psychologically. Are you aware of this? This is a platform that you get to discuss the worst things. And of course, you want to discuss in the group, you can take the sevak separately and saying, I have a problem with you. And you are available, isn't it true? Now think about it. Chinmaya Mission gives you that platform. What do I do? After studying Chanakya also, I realized finally, the biggest problem is always solved one-to-one. Isn't it true? मुझे आपसे बात करनी है. I said, okay, come, बैठो. हो गया. No pills required. Last point on this. So, can spirituality help me over addictions? Of course, yes. If you already have a high from inside, you don't require anything externally to get a high. Yeah. There was a hippie culture. I don't know whether this generation is aware of it. By the way, Steve Jobs was a hippie. Hippie in the sense, lost in life, but that born in developed countries. Fortunate case. पैसे का problem नहीं है. वो क्या कर रहे? Backpackers. You'll find a lot of them in Rishikesh. They're lost people. And all these lost people, how do they get a high? Drugs. Have you heard about Neem Karoli Baba? We go to that ashram. I take a lot of camps there also, in the Himalayas. Leadership camps. Professor also comes with me, I guide leaders. So when we were at Neem Karoli Baba's ashram, I realized something about Steve Jobs. What is Steve Jobs known for? Apple. Right? But how many of you know that Apple was created in India? And Neem Karoli Baba's place? He was lost in life. See that movie called Jobs. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's available on YouTube, free of cost. Download also. In that movie, there's a small scene, but a lot of people don't understand. He came to Himalayas as a vagabond, backpacker. When somebody told him there's this Baba, Neem Karoli Baba, he went over there and he gave him a prasad. हमारे देते ना स्वामी जी लोग There was an apple. He ate it and just looked at it. Have you seen the apple logo? It's a cut apple. Ashirwad mil gaya. I mean, what I'm going to tell is that don't go for miracles. Be available to the spiritual masters. If you are expecting miracles, Gurudev never encouraged. And in Vedanta, that's a very low level of knowledge. Huh? Of course, they have miraculous powers, but if they're displaying that, then you're not understanding Vedanta. If you come to here for worldly success, that should be a byproduct. It's like, 100 rupees mil gaya, to 10 rupees to mil hi jayega. And you're asking 10 rupees to a person who can give you millions of dollars. And therefore, addictions, don't worry about it. But addictions, of course, there comes a stage when maybe you require a very high level of, infusion of medicines and all, or drug rehabilitation camps. We are not talking about that level where you require an expert or a counselor. No. Basic, you don't will get addicted if you have the right path. So that's one thing. And the last one, can spirituality and chick help me become a best version of myself? I'll tell you a joke and I'll stop over here. You never know what is your best version. And what you think your best version is only a myth. I want to be a doctor, right? Maybe you decide to have a good version. No. I want to be the best doctor. Not just doctor, I want to be the best in my field. Okay. Whichever field, your idea of best, you think from a human angle. So let's say, I want to be a cricketer. True? And then best version means, I'll be in the Indian cricket team. You get there. And then, no, the better version is there. I have to be part of the 11. Not that 5 people say extra. Better version, best version. You become part of the Indian cricket team 11 squad. So you are not just sitting on the bench. Best version? Imagine you are already at the Indian cricket team. You are not only part of the 15, representing the World Cup, you are part of the 11. Wait, this is a better version. Can I be the captain of the team? So best also defines, right? Better, bigger and bigger. First is to enter. Second, when you enter the best, it's a better one also. And then you say, okay, I want to be the captain. Now, not just a captain, World Cup winning captain. Do you think that's the end of life? हो गया ना 3 जन कल रिटायर हो गए कौन थे राहुल सर Do you think they're happy? Do you think they're happy? Now, I know yesterday if you follow my Twitter, after the match, I put a Twitter post. And that is something you should always remember in life. This I read from a football coach. I read a lot of books ना क्या करें आता कुछ नहीं है किताबें पढ़ो सोचो किताबें लिखो mass production. I'm writing 4 more books now. So one of the books I read about how football coaches help the players to be mentally stable. Huh? And he wrote something. Success is also bad. Huh? Is success good? Success is bad. He says, ये कैसा football coach? And he gives a very interesting thing. And he's been a coach of a lot of winning teams. Okay? And he said something very nice. People who are winners are not mentally stable. Huh? Sukha dukha same kritva. In success and failure. Our problem is that we don't like failures and we want success. But it starts when success is a problem. Because you can develop ego. Isn't it true? I maybe become the World Cup winning captain. But you suddenly realize the footballer Messi makes more money. So where do you stop? I'm not telling you don't make money. But their success definition is very different. So this football coach has, used to train a lot of World Cup winning, teams. And he wrote saying that, I trained my team to win the tournament. That's what a coach role is, right? But I always tell them the rule of 24. Have you heard about it? It's a very interesting rule and I put that on my Twitter. You can check my account also. You can follow me if you want. So this rule of 24 is a very beautiful rule and I find a lot of spiritual values in that rule. It says, suppose you win a tournament like we got, enjoy for 24 hours. Rule of 24, one day. So Sunday enjoy karo. Suppose if you don't win the match, cry for 24 hours. Analyze kyun hara. But 25th hour, go back to the field and practice for the next tournament. हमारा क्या सक्सेस हो गया ना In fact, yesterday we were watching the match, and there were a lot of friends and all with the family. I saw the Kolkata street, don't worry, fully crowded. India, Bharat Mata ki jai, Kohli Zindabad, all those things. My problem is, okay, good, enjoy. Sunday is there. What about Monday? Sometimes glorification of the past and your past success is the problem. I worked very closely with cricketers, sportsmen. Sachin Tendulkar went through a mental health problem which is not there in media. After getting Bharat Ratna, you know this? Successful, right? How many world records? So, success can also be a problem if you say, okay, fine, thank you. And if you are a true Vedantin, you say, all the hard work, efforts is all good. But finally it is Guru Kripa or Bhagwan Kripa, isn't it true? Success can make you go, so I am a performer. Now I will become a motivational speaker. Chupchap beto. Can you become from hero to zero? That is success. Stability of mindset nahi hota, successful people go. And zero to hero is also Vedanta. How to become from zero? I am nothing. I can become number one. The concept in Chanakya is called Vijigishu. You are a world leader in that field, whichever you choose. So if you start a company, world's number one, not even number two. This meeting that I was called to, some IPL meeting. Since cricket field, BCCI had called me, and that time this IPL auctions were happening, and Mr. Shah Rukh Khan was there. I think Kolkata Knight Riders is. He said something very profound, and that year I remember Kolkata Knight Riders were last, and they were building a new team. And this guy, in his own way, he is very passionate and all those things. And he said, next year, that means next tournament, Kolkata Knight Riders will win the cup. And it happened. I don't know if you follow IPL. But he said something very nice, visionary. He said, I want to make, and the media were there. They asked, last time you were the 10th of all the 10. Forget the semi-finals and finals. And you say you're going to get number one in this particular, you will win the cup, not possible. Well, no, only number one. Even number two is not good enough. You never win a silver medal, you actually lose a gold medal. My son was telling me yesterday on the phone, Arjun. Yesterday's match, before he started, you know what? He was consoling himself because he still remembers the 19th of November loss. You know what he told me? Papa, okay, beta, we are already top 2 in the World Cup. Isn't it? Out of 20 teams. By the way, there are more than 150 cricket playing nations. Everybody doesn't get qualified. The top 20 get qualified, and out of that you filter, then top 8, top 4, semi-finals, and then finals, isn't it? So getting into the finals is the top 2 of 150 people, out of which you only seen the 20 playing. Does India play football? Of course, but we don't get qualified for World Cup, isn't it? We are a football playing nation. So he was trying to console himself and tell me, Papa, that means indirectly telling, hum harenge to bhi, hum number 2 hai. It's not bad, isn't it? Final tak pahunche. I said, wait, jeeto pehle. So if you want to play the game of life, whichever field you choose as a career, don't even plan for number 2. But if you become number 1, understand it's Guru Kripa, Ishwar Kripa. Otherwise, success can become an ego. I know so many successful people, they are not mentally stable. Family issues, relationship issues, no financial issues. And we think initially, making financial success is great. No. But let me stop here by telling something which Gurudev quoted. Plan out your work and work out your plan. You have a plan for your career, your life, take guidance, study very hard. But there is another management guru called Jim Collins. So having a plan, you all should have a plan for your career, for your life, etc. with a spiritual foundation. But he said something very nice. He's a business coach, Jim Collins. If you're in the management field, I would highly recommend you to read his book. But he's a very spiritual person. He says, if you want to make God laugh, show him your best business plan. He may have planned something better for you. If you think you're lost in life, pata nahi kya hoga, don't worry. After 25 years, when you look back, people will call you that his foundation helped him to build the thing. Thank you so much. Hari Om.
Thank you so for coming, and I really enjoyed the talk. So I'm actually starting a new job in the next week or 2.
You got the job, right?
And I do think that, in the last year, I've been very more involved with the mission, and I think it's played a role in me getting the job for sure.
Wow.
And I have a question. So you spoke about the 24-hour rule, right? And like, I've noticed with myself that sure, like if there's a setback or if there's an achievement, then I want to give myself 24 hours to either enjoy it or forget about it, but it's easier said than done. So what like practical advice do you have to, when you're in that moment to deal with that?
So let's say you gone through a difficult situation in life, maybe a failure that you were expecting to win, etc., etc. I'll tell you one Gurudev formula and one practical formula which I do. Do your best and leave the rest. Somebody asked him about Karma Yoga. He summarized in such a beautiful two-liners. What is Karma Yoga? You can go to theories. Karma Yoga is Bhagavad Gita chapter and you can give a lecture. He says no. What is Karma Yoga? It's an attitude. It is not activity. A lot of people think Karma Yogi hai मतलब सुबह से शाम तक दौड़ता रहते हैं. That is not Karma Yoga. He's very active. And they say he's a workaholic. Arey baba, alcoholic ka hi version hai. So Karma Yogi is not about activity. It is attitude in activity. So come back, Gurudev said, do your best and leave the rest. Leave the rest matlab success comes and failure comes in. I'll accept it. But it's not that easy as you said, What do? Let me tell you. Please accept your emotions that you go through when you don't get the result that you want, right? You feel bad, cry it out. It's okay. You are supposed to get a promotion, but some chamcha of the boss gets it. Frustration hai, you are capable. Anger is there. But the question is that when you are going through negative emotions, can you spiritualize it? Negative emotions are natural. Don't say I want to be positive thinking. There's a whole field of positive psychology. Very popular now. Then you read a positive book and you feel nice. But that anger remained. And the day you get an opportunity, that it will erupt as a volcano. You saw Rohit Sharma batting against Australia. It was not performance. It was anger expressed. Isn't it true? You say, what is this? Ye to Rakshas ke roop hai. So what has happened if you don't know how to manage your emotions spiritually, those emotions will come back negatively. And I'll tell you what I do. Suppose you are expecting some results which did not happen. Negative, anger, frustration. And I've seen that, I go as judge in a lot of competitions. In fact, interestingly, I was called to judge. Can you believe? Miss India competition. I'm not joking. मैं बोले मेरे को छोड़ो. नहीं, you are a spiritual person. That's why I don't want to come. That's why you should come. So I went over there, all those things. And a lot of people have worked very hard to reach the top 20 or whatever. And we have to ask questions. You'll be surprised. Only one winner is there, unfortunately. And remember, the remaining 19 also are capable. And they'll put a plastic smile. The top 3 will be called. And the winner is, everybody's explain मेरा नाम, this person. यही दोनों plastic smile. अंदर से sportsman spirit, you shake the hand. Reality is that you are going through a negative emotion. Isn't it true? A smile from outside will not solve the problem. So coming if you are going through a phase in your life where it's very negative than what you expect, how to spiritualize it? Number 1, spirituality means looking at long term. Otherwise, what happens? Short term, it's a failure, it's a reality. What I lost today, maybe I'll get it 10 times more in the future, but I have to have patience. Guruji, Tejabanji says 2 interesting words, and we don't know the difference. One is called Asha and Pratiksha. Asha is hope. Isn't it true? I hope I'll win. Pratiksha is you have done your best and waiting for the results. So if you are given your exams properly, you are doing Pratiksha of the results, not Asha of the results. You never given exams and you will pass. Bhagwan. पास करा दो कैसे पास होगा? So what I'm saying is that if you can look at the long term, your mind gets calmer. Second thing that will do, that suppose you're going through that frustration, you require what is called me time. And that's very important, right? Or what we call friends time. Talk to somebody. Arjuna was confused, but let me also tell you, Arjuna was frightened, and whatever words we use. Bhagavad Gita chapter number 1. Arjuna, Vishada. Please understand, Vishada means a very negative state of mind, right? It is very sorrowful. And Krishna is a strategist. And it's called yoga. You can connect to God in sorrow. But we don't like sorrow because we don't know how to spiritualize it. Remember the Kunti prayer?
Yes, Kunti.
Give me sorrow so I can remember you more. But that's how we spiritualize. Second thing, have your mean time doesn't mean you have to be lonely. Because loneliness is a psychological problem. You should know how to be alone, not lonely. Aloneness is a spiritual quality. अपने आप के साथ शांति से बैठ सकते हो क्या? As they say, let the dust settle, let the cloud get over. ठीक है? You require that time. Then your mind only gives the answer. If not, step number 2. If you can sit down with yourself, discuss with somebody who is matured. Because seeing the problems bigger than you, no problem. Third thing you can do is that actually go and maybe do some activity, because this negative thought of mind can actually reflect the body. They don't feel eating. So the mind is only focused on that one thing. Get out, do something. And what you can do, many things you can do, but don't be at one place. Just walk out from your house. Because it's so negative, right? Just go and maybe just go to a temple if you want, or some social organization. Do some activity. Your mind will get shifted from that and good. A real example, if I can tell you, that how to spiritualize it is in the life of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, and Dr. APJ Kalam, remember he wanted to become a pilot? And what happened?
Because of his height, it did not get there.
Correct, so he did not pass. Imagine, it's very good. And by the way, if you know his background, he was from IIT Madras, highly qualified aeronautical engineer. Not a small achievement. And he done. But fortunately, his life turned when he went to a spiritual master expressing his Vishad. Shivanand Ji Maharaj, अपने गुरुदेव वहीं पे ऋषिकेश के. Have you read the book called Wings of Fire? There's an instance in that. And frustrated, but spiritual master looks at the big picture, saying that what you feel as a loss in life, in the long term is a success in life. So imagine if you had passed the exam, what would have happened? Another fighter pilot of India. Another. There are many. Then he became the president of India. Remember? And who is the president? The supreme commander of the 3 armed forces. All the fighter pilots ka super boss is Abdul Kalam. So what I mean, we don't look at, because frustration is natural, very natural. But that 24-hour rule, give time to yourself and look at it from a different angle. I'll tell you my own life. I was very good. Like I was supposed to be in the Indian Navy. I gave an exam, the NDA and all. I don't know whether that's still an aspiration job. I failed by 2 marks. By the way, I marched in Rajpath on 26th of January. I was a very high achiever. Bhagwan ki kripa. But ये मेरा, because career नहीं है ना. I said, okay, Indian Navy नहीं है, white uniform नहीं है. Let me at least go to merchant Navy. The Navy and a water. I'm a water person. Frustrated. But thankfully I was in Yuva Kendra. I said, okay, I've done my best. But क्या पता 2 marks से fail हो गया. So I get all these people who don't get that, whatever, award that they want, and the 19 people complain saying that the judge was wrong. हम judge है ना, उसको दिया, I'm more beautiful than her. Then what happened, if you don't have the spiritual thing, you start complaining and blaming others. When you get inside and calm yourself. And you'll be surprised, today I teach the Indian Navy. And I would have been another Navy. And one senior guy said, good, you did not pass. What would you have done? वही white uniform डाल के, you'll be, even if you're a performer, he told me, the people who are jealous of your success, of your performance, will not allow you to succeed further. So, we have to understand that yes, Vishad is good, but Krishna, what he does, doesn't start his jnana. He makes him okay. हो गया तेरा बड़ा chapter. Let me start with Sankhya Yoga. So you will never find Krishna talking in the first chapter, isn't it true? Never give an advice to a person whose mind is not calm and quiet. You can never take an advice if you are not calm and quiet, even with the best advice. In fact, my teacher told me this. Never give an advice to a person who doesn't want an advice. So what we require is, what we require is a state of mind to take that advice. It can be a simple advice by your mother. बेटा सब ठीक हो जाएगा. कैसे ठीक होगा? मेरे जिंदगी में, तुम्हारे जिंदगी में हो गया, तुम्हारा जमाना अलग है. आपके ज़माने में मोबाइल लेता है. तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम क्या है? I got cyber bullied. Your mother will never understand. But it's not about cyber bullying of your generation which your mother doesn't understand. She's trying to tell you, be in a calm state of mind. Isn't it true? अरे कि जब आग लगी है ना, only a calm person will think कि आग को बुझाना कैसे है. Just to summarize it, yes, it's a real problem, but try to make your negative emotions, if possible, spiritualized. At least take a break. Once your mind is diverted, the same situation looks much better. Thank you.
Sir, in Yuva Kendra, we learned that we have a soul. So, while studying, when we read about unicellular organisms like amoeba, I have a doubt that do they also have a soul? Like, can cell also have a soul like us?
So I'll use some technical words and you should discuss it in your class also with your sevaks. A soul, what you talk about, in the Vedantic language, it is called the jiva. So an amoeba is also a jiva. A tree is also a jiva. A human being is also a jiva. You know, in our Yoga Kendra class, one of our sevaks told something very interesting. All jivas are interconnected. You know what was the first impression? I am a jiva. मेरे अंदर कितने organisms हैं? I also eat bacteria in the form of curd. True or no? So how many jivas inside? So I said, oh, there's so many jivas around. I can see, right? But that is not the soul we are talking about. Since you are from the mission, I can tell you. We say jiva can have many forms. Small as unicellular organism like a amoeba. Or it can be a multiple jiva. Do you know how whales die? It's very interesting. You should Google it. In the universe, we only look at human beings. But we say there is life beyond human beings also, right? Tree is also a jiva. So the commonality that you see in all the jivas is what we call Brahman. So the person who is saying, I am a jiva, there is an activity of a jiva also. Like हम बोलते हैं ना प्राण चले गए, that means the person is dead. What is pran? Technically speaking, there is pancha pran. Remember? So basically, technically, you know, your respiratory system and all those things. इसलिए हम प्राणायाम बोलते हैं. But I'll tell you, technically, if you understand, the journey of spiritual life is from jiva to Brahman or Shiva. So what I'm saying, yes, what you're seeing is active life in the form of an organism. But there's a bigger life called the life principle. And there everybody is connected. So what I'm saying that yes, look at the individual, but that's why even a Vedantic literature speaks about Jiva Brahma Ekatmata. And a person who is a Jivan Mukta connected to the whole Brahman. So yes, what you are now thinking is that little organism called life activity. And Gurudev, I don't know which book was it, Kindle Life, he spoke about expression of life in different species. Human being, physically active. Is the plant also as physically active like the human being? Can it walk? Can it talk? Can it smell? So no, it can also feel emotions. It's also a jiva. I'm also a jiva. But the thing is that the expression of life is different. And if you go to the Vedantic principle, do you know one thing? That even a rock is a solid jiva with activity and life. Gurudev calls it mineral world. And who was that Nobel laureate? Jagdish Chandra. Oh. Are you aware of it? He understood the spiritual concept. That this is also jiva. Possible? इसमें life expression नहीं है. But life है. Hey, I'll tell you, try this example. How many of you use electronic gadgets? Everybody does in our generation, right? I'll tell you something. Try this. Okay? And I've tried this many times. Mobile बंद हो जाता है? Okay. Have you spoken to the mobile? I require to give a call. Please. अब चालू हो जाओ. कभी किया है ये? What is it? You'll be surprised. You know, I remember this. I was in my laptop and then I had to send a very urgent mail. And suddenly got, I don't know what, hang up हो गया. Then what to do? I said, okay, mobile से भेज देते email because I download the email. But I had to type I think some very important document and I could only use in the laptop. A laptop is not working. I don't know why. I said, no. If God wants, in this time the laptop will start for me. It's such an important thing for me. And I prayed to that laptop. 10 minutes के लिए चालू हो जाए. It may look like a joke, right? But I did not consider a laptop as an inert activity working on an external power. And can you believe? Actually, it started working. It may look like a joke, but you know, that's how you think that this is also divine. Even if you have power, it may not work. Isn't it true? But if you think that there is a soul or what you call, you know, there is a bigger force that even makes the laptop work and the power work. You can actually, so that's why you find a lot of miracles in the life of Mahatmas. I come from Maharashtra. There is a great saint called Jnaneshwar Maharaj. And it's not some, you know, Puranic story. It's a historical, very, very close to our generation. So one day what happened, You know, in the so-called human mind, expression of life is Jiva. So there used to be a very great yogi. Okay, he could control other jivas. He could ride on a tiger, and he thought he's an achiever. And Gyaneshwar Maharaj, very young boy. Okay, so somebody heard, oh, there's a Gyaneshwar, and this guy got arrogant. Imagine he's got the power to control other jivas. So he came riding on a tiger. Okay, and Gyaneshwar Maharaj said, okay, and said he has to come and meet me because I'm senior, I can control all the jivas. You know what Gyaneshwar Maharaj did? He was sitting on a wall. There were 4 brothers and sisters. He actually flew with that wall. And he was surprised. I can control active human beings. He can actually control inert objects like a wall. And for that you have to understand that the depth finally is that tattva. And again, Puranic story, remember Narsimha Avatar? How did that happen? There was this particular Hiranyakashipu, भगवान है तो दिखाओ, कहाँ है भगवान? Understanding सब जगह है, सब जगह है तो इस पिलर में है क्या? Inert pillar है ना? Look at the bhakti and the understanding. The Narsimha came out from that pillar, isn't it? So coming back, from a very biological standpoint, and I'm sure we are now getting specialized in microbiology also. We see something which is, we try to decode. But the more you go inside, you sometimes forget the bigger picture that gives power also for the jiva to operate. So coming back, in your class you can discuss this further. A jiva is definitely part of this world, and there are many jivas. And we say, 84 lakh jivas, I don't know, whatever numbers. Yonis are there, species are there. But what I'm saying, what is the common connection? If you can see that, you will understand the jiva runs because of a higher power. That's why jiva की मृत्यु होती है, but Brahman की नहीं होती. It's eternal, all composing. Yeah.
Okay, just we have one last question. That's from the study class. So in this age where a lot of things are available on YouTube and people can get everything digitally, how important do you think is coming to the physical study classes and attending it regularly? Because can it be acquired through YouTube?
So how many people use YouTube here? As a study class mode. So please understand this, that technology for the next generation is very part of their thinking. I communicate through this. For a generation that was born before technology, a physical meeting was required. Isn't it true? When we were Yuva Kendra members, and I see the next generation of Yuva Kendra members, they're in the same Chinmaya mission, but the way they operate and learn is very different, isn't it? Like for example, I still remember, like when we were chicks, well, let's say 20 of us, somebody had to physically go and meet that person, like come or call up. That was technology for us. Today, it's a WhatsApp message, right? Every generation will use different tools to do the same work. Now coming back to the point of study class, okay, there are 2 things. If you're not comfortable with YouTube, come to the mission. But don't you think YouTube is an advantage? And YouTube gives you democratic choices. When to listen, how much to listen, and whom to listen and what to listen. Isn't it true? Like for us, we have to go to that place that listen, whatever is being told over there is Brahman. Today you say, no, I can debate better. Isn't it true? Not that your debate is right. Today you got different views. So I'll tell you how to study the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads. And you use YouTube. So my suggestion for you is that if you like that method, it's good. But to say that YouTube method is wrong, so I'll tell you how I did. So I've been from that generation which used to actually physically meet, right? We did not have technology. You know what I used to do? Initially, that everything that is in the class and the books. But I started realizing the same book can be interpreted by different masters from different philosophies, isn't it? So from Chinmaya Mission also we have Acharya. Maybe Guruji is not here. But you know how I consoled myself? YouTube mein available hai na baad mein. So we are having a parallel session. I can't meet Guruji. If I were in Bombay, I would have met him. So my suggestion is that it should be hybrid. What is it called? Hybrid. If you can physically come, great. Because there is no replacement to human conversation. Face to face. No technology can replace it. No technology can replace face to face conversation. बराबर है कि नहीं? But नहीं होता है. Option number 2 रखो. But to say option number 2 is bad, maybe you're not comfortable. This has actually happened post-COVID, right? For me, personally speaking, physical classes is still the first option. Maybe for you, no, because I can't come, but I can watch the YouTube later. Therefore, one suggestion, in management terminology is called reverse mentoring. You know what is reverse mentoring? So some of you must have heard. There's a joke about it. When an electronic item used to come to my house, in my generation, the father used to tell, हाथ नहीं लगाना. अब जब मेरा नया मोबाइल आता है, मेरे पिताजी पूछते हैं कैसा चलाना है. Have you seen the younger kids? It's very natural. They don't require a manual also. So if you don't know how to use YouTube, tell your grandchildren to teach you. ऐसा इतना भी नहीं आता है. So what I'm saying is that this is a generation problem, but I still prefer natural principles don't change. And natural principle is always face to face. I can speak to Pranav and we take class together online. But he'll still come from, Kharagpur, and this physical meeting always is 20,000 times more better, isn't it? But if we can't meet, we can still use technology. So I say, you think what is practical, but don't miss out on the essential that you have to go for knowledge. Physically great, if not, technology. So that's where knowledge transfer happens, and all these are only tools. Let's say you don't have a mission center. You will not have a study class. There are so many centers where there is no formal mission also, but they are much better. But I know so many people from Chinmaya Mission. I'll give you an example and stop here.
We were talking about Kathmandu.
Yeah. How many centers? I have traveled to more than 60 centers of Chinmaya Mission, globally. I'll give you an example that how Chinmaya Mission, the figures that you know are not real figures. They are indicators of the impact of Gurudev's work. I was in school, I remember, and one of my classmates was also in Balvia. His name is Kishore. Okay, and very intelligent boy and all those things from our class. But we used to attend Balvia. But he used to attend a different Balvia, I used to attend a different Balvia. Now, Ajkal, after that schooling day and all, he was one of the toppers of the class. And he was wanting to study further and all those things. But our generation did not have technology like your generation. That class is over, that you are out of school, but you can still be connected, right? So later on now, a lot of alumni meets are happening. So I remember after almost 20 years, I asked my classmates, "Hey, आजकल किशोर क्या कर रहा है?" So he's in US, he's a PhD in agricultural science, and he's almost been nominated for Nobel Prize. You get a pride. And then showcasing, he's also from Chinmaya Mission, he's also my classmate. And I remember meeting him in US, I had gone there, and I met Kishore. But आजकल क्या कर रहा है? Because लोग बोलते हैं तू बहुत successful है, you are an agricultural scientist, you have created some company called Monsanto. I don't know if you're in agricultural field, supposed to be. So they offered, So all this, so ये हो गया career wise. I expected that he will tell me all this. You know what he told me? Such a successful person. I continue the studies of Chinmaya Mission wherever I am. Now, what do you mean by wherever you are? Because you're in Balvia. You know what he told me? It's very interesting, and you to understand this, you may not come to the center, but wherever you go, your study should continue. He's been posted in a very remote part of America. By the way, let me tell you, what you see on the screen in Marvel Comics is only one part of America. America may be gaon hai. Everything is not New York and Manhattan. There is rural part of America. Asking me, he ran the presidential elections. So he is positioned for whatever in a very agriculture, farmer पे काम करता है. You know what he told me? I take Upanishad classes in that rural village of America. Huh? It's not in Chinmaya Mission records. So every Saturday I call all the farmers. Maybe they are high farmers in that developed country. We discuss Prashnopanishad. This is the current text we are going through. So asking, you don't go to mission center? I said, no, because that mission center is so far away. Dallas village जाने को 3 घंटा ट्राई. तो हमने डिसाइड किया मेरा स्टडी तो कंटिन्यू होगा wherever I am, whatever I am. He never attended Yuva Kendra. Let me tell you. He was part of Yuva Kendra, but because of high educational, he had to leave midway. But Bal Vihar में जो study class चालू किया, आज he's a sevak somewhere else. Why am I telling you this? Yes, physically having an infrastructure, you are lucky that you can come to a class, you can have a sevak. But as Gurudev said, a really true Chinmaya Mission person is who understand the study of Shastras forever and wherever and forever using whatever technology you want. YouTube में भी class attend कर सकते हो ना? देखो, now it's getting recorded, right? So what I'm saying is that Chinmaya Mission member is a true sadhak and a true sevak in whatever opportunity God has given. Thank you, Hari Om.